Welcome to our Bible story time for this week. This week, we are going to look how God created the world in Genesis 1 and 2. Let's look at the story together, and then stick around at the end because we want to give you a few discussion questions that you can talk about as a family. Let's look at today's story together. The Bible, God's Word, tells us how the world began. Long ago, God made the very first man and named him Adam. God made Adam out of the dust of the earth. When God breathed life into Adam, he came alive. He found himself in a beautiful garden called Eden. Before God made Adam, he made a beautiful world filled with wonderful things. Step by step, God made hilly places and prairie spaces, fragrant flowers and tall trees, brightly feathered birds and buzzing bees, wallowing whales and slippery snails. In fact, God made everything there is. Everything. In the very beginning, before God made everything, there was only God. But then he began to act. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was in the face of the deep. Then God spoke. He said, "Let there be light." And there was light. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. On the second day, God brought the waters of the oceans and seas and lakes into order under heaven. On the third day, God said, "Let the dry land appear." And it happened. God also commanded the grass, the flowers, and shrubs and trees to appear. And it happened as he said. And the evening and the morning were the third day. Then God made the sun and the moon and so many stars that nobody could count them. And the evening and the morning were the fourth day. Sea creatures and fish and birds were next on God's list. So on the fifth day, God made the fish of the sea and the birds of the air. He made big swordfish and tiny sardines and long-legged ostriches and happy little hummingbirds. God made every kind of fish to fill the earth's waters, and every kind of bird to enjoy the land and sea and sky. And the evening and the morning were the fifth day. After that, God spoke again, and he said, "Let the earth bring forth living creatures." Every kind of animal and insect and reptile came into being. There were earth-shaking elephants and busy beavers, mischievous monkeys and clumsy crocodiles, wiggly worms and chipmunks, gangly giraffes and purring cats. Every kind of animal was made by God on that day. And the evening and the morning were the sixth day. And then God did something very special on the sixth day. God said, "Let us make man in our image, and let him rule over everything on the earth." So God created man in his own image. And the Lord said, "It is not good that man should be alone, and I will make a helper for him." God brought Adam into a deep, deep sleep. Removing one of Adam's ribs, God formed and made woman. The woman was made exactly how God wanted her to be, and she was made as the right and great partner for Adam. God looked at all of his creation and said that it was good. God made everything in 6 days. Then God blessed the seventh day and made it a day of rest. In the Garden of Eden, Adam and Eve had perfect relationship with God, and they were in perfect harmony and happiness with God. God was their Lord, their provider, and their friend. Now here are 3 discussion questions that you can use to discuss today's story as a family. Question number 1. What can we learn about God from today's story? Question number 2. What can we learn about ourselves from today's story? Question number 3. Are there any truths that we can apply from this story to our lives today? We hope that you enjoyed this week's story. May God richly bless each and every one of you this week.